The Adequan USEA Gold Cup CIC 3-star division began today at the Galway Downs International Horse Trials in Temecula, California, running under the same modified format it did last year. FEI riders presented their dressage tests in the morning, then completed show jumping in the afternoon, with cross-country being the final phase on Saturday. Alexandra Slusher, who leads the headlighting division, said today's dressage test aboard Christie Campbell's last call was one of the best she's ever felt.
I was thrilled with my dressage. I thought she had a good warm-up. I thought she was in a good mental state, and I felt like that was the best that I have ridden her. And both of us working together for a common goal, instead of us, one getting nervous and then the other one feeding off the other one, and then it kind of getting too tense. I felt like we rode a really nice test, and I was thrilled with her. It's the best she's felt ever.
Canadian World Equestrian Games team member Hawley Bennett-Awad began her day in 5th place aboard hers and Linda Payne's Gin and Juice with a score of 48.2. But after posting one of only 2 double clear show jumping rounds in the division this afternoon, the pair settled in 2nd place, just a fault and some change behind Slusher.
I was really happy with Ginny. I always feel confident going in on her because she is a very careful jumper, but she is a little spicy. And for me, this format is very difficult because she is a hot horse. The cross country actually takes the edge off of her, so I had my work cut out for me in there.
Slusher and Last Call caught just 1 rail on their trip.
I thought it was a tough enough course. I thought there was the turns and the accuracy that you needed to jump a clean round was tough enough. And since I had a rail, I should have ridden a little bit better on that one fence. But I thought it rode nice. I thought it was a good forward round.
Meanwhile, Tamra Smith jumped without fault aboard Leigh Mesher's Amor, but added 4 time faults to their score to round out the top 3.
We're working some stuff out, and I should have taken an inside line because he is such a good jumper and he hangs a bit in the air. I mean, he was 2 feet over the top of everything. I came out of the ring and Mark Phillips said, he's like, you can fix the time, and he's right in that, we were just trying to figure each other out still, so.
Cross-country course designer Ian Stark has arranged this year's spring track as a modified version of last fall's CCI 3-star.
An interesting point for me this year in designing the CCI 3-star track is that we've got a real variety and mixture of horses and riders. We've got some of the horses doing their first CCI 3-star, so we have to make it enjoyable for these horses, but we've also got quite a lot of horses and riders moving on to Rolex in Kentucky or to Badminton in England. So they're using this as their final preparation run before the biggest 4-star 3-day events in the world. So it's been a real challenge for me to give both the green horses and the experienced horses enough to think about and make it enjoyable for them all. Well, this is the course for the CIC 3-star here at Galway Downs this year. Similar route that we took in the fall for the CCI 3-star, a fraction softer, but quite a lot of new fences introduced to get the younger horses ready and built up for the 3-star later in the year. We're here at fence 6, a new addition here. We put a 3rd element in, big ditch wall with brush top, and there's 3 in a row, 2 strides in between. It's important that the riders get the right line in the approach, and it is very much an attacking fence. They've had a few nice introduction fences. This is where the riders will know whether the horses are on form or not. It's ABC, so there's no room for them to circle. Any circling will incur 20 penalties. If they get through this well, then it'll give them a lot of confidence for the rest of the course, so fingers crossed. A new introduction this year is this fake brush. It's very soft for the horses. It looks fantastic. It's very bright. Because it's bright on the top of the fences, helps the horses bring their head up, and so they're looking over the top of the fence. They're not concentrating on the ditch. But I think it's great stuff, and it's probably the future because brushing the fences is a very expensive pastime. So we're here at the moat at fence 9. Same question as in the fall for the CCI 3-star. but I've just changed the shape of the brush on the top. Instead of having it flat and then high, where the horses have a very small area to approach, I've given them much more room, but it does encourage a little bit of a run out because the lower end is the run out side of the fence. And last year it was a very straight line between these fences, and so it was 5 even strides. But I insisted that they stayed straight because we had a big chess piece sitting here to stop the riders doing a bending line and making the second one easier. This time I've allowed them to do a bending line, so they may go on 5 or 6 strides and make the second one easier. If they stay straight, the other thing that's also helping this year is the pampas grass has grown quite a lot. So that's blocking off the run out space a little bit. So it should help the riders, but it's still very, very important that the horses and riders are focused on that line. So fence 10, we come straight from the moat to this drop. And I've been kind to the riders. I brought the ground up about 2 feet, 2 feet 6 higher, so that it's not quite such an enormous drop for the horses, because they did tend to land a little bit dead. And I think the riders might be conned into believing that I've been nice to them. But a little bit of playing with their minds here, by making that a little bit softer, I have a feeling that the riders are going to come off that drop a bit faster, a little bit braver. And if they do that, then to me they're going to be in trouble here at the triple brush, because they're going to have to, if they come off too fast, they're going to muck up the distance here, and instead of it being on 3 strides, they're going to get 2.5 or whatever, and then that's when they can run past it. So although I've been nice to the horses there, the riders have got to not take that as an invitation to go faster. Well, a completely new part of the park that we haven't used before here in Galway, galloping up into the trade fair area. Quite a big log here, fairly steep approach. The horses, riders need to keep lots of impulsion, lots of pace, pop over that, and then they've got a very attacking 4 strides to the triple brush on the top of the hill. And the surprise for the horses there was, as they get up to the triple brush, they'll suddenly see the vista of the trade fair area. So any young horse could be a little bit distracted, so the riders will have to be totally focused. It's a new idea galloping through the trade fair here. I think it's good for the horses for the future, horses that are going on to Rolex or to badminton from here. It gives them an introduction into the busy areas of the park where there should be lots of people. Most of the riders like it. I have to say there is the odd one that's not very happy about it, but hey, you can't please everyone. Well, if the riders have survived galloping through the trade fair, they've then got to come downhill, which is not that easy because it's a bit rolling, it's a bit up and down, and then they've got a downhill approach to this pretty enormous log into this fence 15, which is the 3rd of the 3 waters here. Big jump in. Once they land, it's an attacking 4 or a steady 5, and then up onto the Normandy bank, 1 stride, big drop over the waterfall, and then off to the skinny on the left. We've given the C element, the big drop off the Normandy bank, an alternative, so it is possible for someone that doesn't get the stride right to the bank, they can pop up the bank, swing left, and take the alternative. It's a time waster, but might be sensible for some of them if the horses get it wrong on the way in.
It's going to be a good little test, I think, for me to make sure I'm on my game, because I got a big event coming up.
Ian's courses they're big and they're bold, and I think that's, Leigh said it's a course that's going to suit him well, so I'm going to trust her on that one.
And I think that she can do it, and I think that I can do it, and I plan on going out there and getting a double clean round.